Gabrielle Union elaborates on why she splits everything 50-50 with Dwayne Wade. Every household is different. He offered to cover me, trust, but that's not my ministry, nor brings me peace. There are some women, like literally some women, who do not want to be quote unquote taken care of. I really feel like the idea of being taken care of comes from a fantasy. I really feel like that. I really feel like that. I really feel like I said, you can design, like she said, people design their relationships and partnerships however way they want, because it truly is a business when you get married, and you can design your business how you want. And for some women, a man taking care of them and depending on a man is not, it's not their ministry. Like she said, I want to read her comment, because I made a video at the end of last year and I said, I'm done talking about 50-50 relationships. I'm done having that conversation, because the truth is, people, they design their relationships how they want to design them. So she said, every household is different, and doing what's best for you and yours is the key. And what some don't understand is that I'm 100% responsible for 3 other households, and D has even more. The majority of those households are elderly people and minors. We both come from families that step up to help care for children and elderly relatives. So being able to be with someone who meets me halfway and lightens my load gives me peace and support. He offered to cover me, trust, but that's not my ministry, nor brings me peace. All that to say, I love how we recognize that there are billions of ways to exist, and you just got to find what's right for you and brings you peace. I found mine. And I really am glad that she said that, because it's just like, everybody doesn't want to split. Everybody doesn't want to, every to me, I feel like the majority of people who are in partnerships they may not be splitting it 50-50, like literally 50-50, but there is a split somewhere. There is you in an aspect of the business of your relationship. There are spaces where you are going to be pulling in more, and there are spaces when the partner is going to be pulling in more, because it's really based on your strengths and weaknesses. And hopefully you're partnered with a person who, where you are weak, they are strong, and vice versa. So you're not carrying a burden and a load that is too heavy for you to carry. And just like I said the other day on the Bell Collective review, is that hopefully you're with a man that, or a person or a partner that brings your stock up, that brings your value up, that adds value to your life. If you're with someone and you're seeing a lot of deficit, you're seeing a lot of subtractions, you're seeing a lot of things being taken away, or you feeling drained, things that your cup is not being full, you're not able to give from your overflow because you're doing too much and it's taking away from your peace, you shouldn't be with people like that. There are times where you're going to have to take up the slack, and there are times when they are going to have to take up the slack, because you cannot do it all. You can't. You can't. You cannot. Okay? And for those who choose to be in partnerships, it is, to me, counterproductive to be in a partnership with someone where you're still carrying the load. I, for one, don't think it's fair for one partner to carry the entire financial load. I think it's fucked up. I do. Man, woman, non-binary, I don't care. I think it's messed up that one person has the burden of taking on the financial load. Whether it is a burden to them financially or not, I think it is a burden. Some women want to be taken care of. I figure if that is the goal, that you want to be taken care of financially, where the man takes care of everything, The only way that I can agree to that structure is if you literally make your own money and he just wants to take care of everything, or she just wants to take care of everything. But you better have your own money. There is nowhere in the world where I would agree with a woman being with not having any other source of income, being financially dependent on another adult human being, especially one with a penis, honey, and identifies as male, because there are too many women who have been financially abused when they decide to enter that structure or that model of a relationship. I do not agree with that. I don't. And so many people are like 50-50. I don't want to be with a roommate. It's Y'all are roommates. Even if you are husband and wife, y'all are roommates. Okay? Whatever title or name you want to attach to it, y'all share a home. Y'all are roommates. Okay? It's so weird. It is so weird to me. I'm just not, I really feel like the traditional template does not, it's unsustainable. It might work for a while, but you really have to design your relationships, especially your intimate relationships. You do have to design it to where it is something that you can do long term. Because what sounds good may not be sustainable. I feel like that's what it should look like. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad Gabrielle Union said, I'm glad to see that some people understand there are billions of ways to design your relationships and your partnerships. A lot of people get mad that when you refer to your partner as a partner and not as a husband or a wife. But the truth is, they're your partner. They're your partner. They're not somebody, he's your husband, and so he has more say in this and that. No, y'all are partners in this. And I always say, if you wouldn't go into business with him, do not enter into the business of marriage with him. And that's the truth. That's how I really feel. Let's see what else. I'm glad she said that. Let's read some of the comments, girl. I don't know why y'all are offended. Rhea's a whole billionaire. Y'all think ASAP pays all the bills? Why are people so involved in the household they're not a part of? I'm confused. If it works for them, why should anyone care what they do? It's a shame. Oh, it's a shame social media has made birds assume going 50-50 is a bad thing. It's actually really embarrassing to watch grown women challenge this idea. This is a man. But you're the one in the interview talking about living paycheck to paycheck. So your ministry is rooted in pride. Help me understand, since you put us in this conversation. An interview, meaning she was asked and then shared. No, she talked about living paycheck to paycheck like it was an idea, like it's something that sticks in her head, because she operates, and I'm sure she's working on it because she talked about it, operating from a place of scarcity and operating from a space of lack. And that comes from this idea that you're living paycheck to paycheck and that you don't have an overflow. You don't have extra money at the end of whatever time frame. And you're operating from a space where all your money is going to be used and you don't know where the rest of it is going to come from, or it's ran out before the end of the month. And at the end of the month, you don't have a surplus. You're operating from a place of lack. And a lot of people operate like that, not just in relationships, but just in their lives. And it's true. I just want y'all to have the same energy for ASAP, because we know damn well he ain't paying 100% of the bills. And the idea, let me tell you something. And the idea, if in a heterosexual relationship, the idea that the man's role is to pay all the bills, that is you agreeing to the rules of patriarchy. If you want to design your relationship with a traditional template, that is an agreement to the rules of patriarchy. And it's weird because that means that you shouldn't be working. You want somebody to pay all the bills and you want to live in a traditional, that means you shouldn't be working. Otherwise, actually, you're not living in a traditional household. You want the man to abide by traditional rules, but you also want to work and make your own money. That's not traditional. Traditional is you're not working, ma'am. That's what the template looks like. And I think for a lot of, especially Black women, they want to experience that because that has not been the tradition for generations for Black women. Some, right, but a large majority and enough to make a general statement is that Black women are not living at home and depending on a man to pay all the bills. I was watching something where the woman didn't know that her house was in foreclosure. The husband hadn't been paying the bills. But she's traditional. I'm sure she's telling, yeah, my man, he pays all the bills, and he wasn't. And the house was in goddamn foreclosure. And she didn't know. I was watching Real Housewives of New Jersey when Teresa was up there spending money. And then all of a sudden, they had to file for bankruptcy because Joe was out here forging signatures and shit. And you didn't know your husband, you don't have to worry about nothing. Now all of a sudden y'all filing for bankruptcy and you have to, cut down on your spending because you really don't have the money you thought you did. Like, to me, I feel like, especially when it comes to finances, and because it's really, 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 really important, because that's really how you live. Money's not important. Money is important. Stop saying that, especially in a partnership. Money is important for single people, but when you're in a partnership, you need to make sure that the money is right. And if you are in a situation where you don't know how the money is going out, what's being paid for, if things are being paid for, and if they're being paid for on time, you're like a sitting duck. And it's not smart to literally depend on someone else. I know there are strengths and weaknesses in a relationship, and in the relationship you may think he's better with money than you, but you better be looking at the books, okay? Every now and again you better open the books and look at the bank accounts and figure out, are things being paid on time? And open your goddamn mail. Okay, if you got paperless billing, you better go online. You better have the username and the passwords for your mortgage site so you can make sure your shit is being paid on time. Don't nobody have time to be worried about or depend. Oh, I just trust him. No, girl, and don't be stupid. I know it sounds good, right? It sounds good. The fantasy of it, it sounds good. Just like when Ebony said, y'all want to hear shit that makes you feel good. And it feels good to say, I can depend on my man, he pays for everything. Is he, bitch? Is he paying for everything? Now all of a sudden you got to sign bankruptcy papers because he wasn't paying for everything and y'all spending more than you have. So I don't want to hear no shit like that. I've heard too many stories of women not watching their books. Make sure you pay attention to the books. I can't imagine myself explaining to people I don't know why I made a decision. And for the record, I'll take 50% off bills any day. Expecting a man to pay 100% is insane. I think it's insane too. I don't expect it. He just does it without question. Well, I hope you're paying attention to the books and you haven't put all of your trust into a man handling money that basically defines your livelihood. There's no way in the world there's that much trust in a human being. I'm sorry. They call us pick-me's. Then it doesn't apply to you. Girl, they call us that. That's fine. At least we're being realistic with I don't think it's a pick me to say that a man paying 100%. Y'all know I don't fucking play that shit. But I don't think it's fair to put the financial burden, whether it's a burden or not financially. I don't feel, because you have heard stories and read stories about in a traditional household where the man is stressed the fuck out because they are trying to make sure that everything in the home is paid for. And they're stressed out and they are dying and becoming ill and having diseases and stuff like that. It's real. I don't think it's fair to put the financial burden on another person in the relationship. I just don't.